Hello, hello.
Hey, you said
How's it going?
celebrity, and I was like, I was like,
I
no,
got
no,
I
no, no, no.
I gotta give props to where props are due, honestly. So
Thank
it's no big
you.
deal. How are you
How's
doing?
it?
How's your day? I'm doing okay.
It's been good. I spent the last couple of days like away at a lake, and I just got back this morning, so I'm feeling really recharged and just relaxed right now.
Yeah, a little bit of apologies to everyone that's probably out doing stuff for the long weekend.
No,
Probably not the best weekend to fly local
no, no, it was
in
good.
hindsight, but we make mistakes, we learn from them, and we
It's all
improve
good.
in the
I'm
long
happy
run.
to be here. I'm happy. I got a good mix of both. Got to do this, and I got to go away and relax. So I'm
All right,
happy
good.
with it.
I'm glad you got to mix in both. If you don't mind, I'm just going to do a quick plug. Thank you for everyone joining. This is Locals Flame Fest, and we are raising funds for Rainbow Railroad. They are a local organization and charity helping LGBTQI plus people overseas escape prosecution. If you don't mind, please check out the link in the Locals Festival bio and donate if you can. We are also doing a giveaway attached to this charity. Every dollar donated to the charity is one entry into our giveaway. If you want to participate in the giveaway still, and for whatever reason can't, money's tight, whatever the situation is, no worries. We have a giveaway post that you can interact with. Every like, every share, and every tag is one entry into the giveaway. So please, if you can, participate in the giveaway. The locals are giving away some amazing stuff. Go check out the post for more information about that, including our local here is giving away some stuff as well. So if you're able to, please participate. And yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm so excited. And also, I tuned into a bit of the live that you did with Rainbow Railroad, which was
Yeah.
amazing. I'm so excited to be part of this because you guys are donating to them, and yeah, everything they do is amazing.
Yeah, I'm really glad that an organization like that, exists. It's really good
Hmm.
to have people helping. They're able to help out not even people in Canada, but people around the world. And, some people in certain countries
100%.
need that kind of help. So it's really good to have an organization like that exist.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to get into the questions. For everyone joining in here, feel free to ask any questions or comments in the chat below. We'll try to get to them before the end of this set. So to start, probably introduce yourself, who you are and what you do.
All right. Every time I have to do this, I'm always just like, whew. So, my name is Carmen Kang, for anyone joining in. I am a creative who works in media, as of recent, film and TV, which is amazing. At the moment, I've been doing a lot of production assistance on a lot more like indie and local projects. So I've kind of like gained experience through that. Recently, I was able to work as a production assistant on a feature film for the very first time, which was huge. Also in a department that I've never really gotten the chance to work in before, so I'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, for the most part, I work in film and TV. I very much gloss over it, like it's not as exciting as it actually is. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure to you it's kind of like, oh, whatever, a 9 to 5 job, whatever, whatever. Everyone else
No,
is like, oh my gosh, you do all this movie stuff. That's amazing.
I think it's so exciting. I'm just so bad at describing it. But no, yeah, it's really cool. It's so different from anything else I've ever done. So I've been loving it so far.
Well, congratulations to you on all of that. It's good to
Thank
like
you.
kind of come out your shell a little bit and try to do something new. So,
Oh my God,
I'm
yeah.
really
It's
happy for you.
huge. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So what kind of sparked this interest to kind of get into the industry?
So since being super young, I've always just loved the art of storytelling without obviously knowing it's like the art of storytelling as like a 5-year-old.
Hmm.
I've always loved movies, reading, writing, drawing, anything involving the visual arts and that kind of process. I've always been a fan of. And so it wasn't really up until the age, I want to say, of like 15, 16, I got into high school and like you had to start kind of thinking about what you wanted to do with your future. And
Hmm.
I knew I wanted it to be in media and I knew I wanted it to be tied into the stuff that I've always had an interest in, but I didn't really know what direction to take that in. So I took up a degree in media communications, which kind of covered a lot of things at once, which was amazing, and it helped me learn about so many more careers that exist, including film. Um, and so, yeah, from there, I was able to kind of start doing internships in my spare time, take up some co-ops, start to meet people, connect with people, hear their stories and their reason for why they wanted to work in media or entertainment. And yeah, that inspired me to get started and realize this is like something I could actually have a career in. This is something that people do. kind of
Mm,
helped me find a bit of a path. Because when I initially went in, I was straight in for writing, and I was like, I want to do journalism and PR. Those were like the two things. So connected in a sense, I guess, to PR. I still kind of do social media management, which is a big thing that I
mm.
really enjoy. That I totally left out when introducing myself, but
It's all good.
yeah, that's a huge thing too. And so from there, I was kind of able to learn more about marketing related to film and TV and just different companies in general, and then also further more about departments in film. Um, and yeah, in the last year, I had gotten this amazing opportunity to be part of like the first run through of this initiative created by Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively called Group Effort Initiative, and I got the opportunity to move to Vancouver and work as part of this feature length film. Which was just like absolutely insane and unlike anything I've ever done before. So it helped me kind of like kickstart my career a little bit more into film and do production in a way that I've never gotten to do it before. And through that placement, I got to work in the visual effects department, which just like I knew there were so many tedious components and processes to it, but you don't really know how many there are until you're like physically placed in it and are part of it and seeing everything on a daily basis. So, without really mentioning the name of the film, um, I got to see and meet so many cool cast members and also all of the amazing crew that was working on this film and really get a good understanding of all the different roles and different departments kind of working together to make one huge film. So yeah, in a whirlwind, basically, I think I kind of was able to, I got very lucky in meeting a lot of the people that I've been able to meet and connecting with them and getting to work with them. And it pushed
Hmm.
me to want to continue and get to where I am now, which is just the start. And thank you, Erica.
Yeah, congratulations. So she
Thank
said
you.
it for me. Congratulations. That's
Thank
so
you.
much that's accomplished in such a short time. I'm sure you're so happy to like make it this far. I'm sure,
Thank
making it
you.
even further in the future, you're just so excited to see where it can take you. And
Absolutely.
I'm interested to hear more about like the production crew and like how crazy it is to see like all the little parts of a production crew and how everything comes together to make a movie and like seeing it firsthand must be so like eye-opening.
It's oh my God, it's insane. Like I'm one of those people, and I think I could thank this to Marvel because anyone who watches Marvel knows you have to sit through all the end credits to get to that extra
Yep.
scene.
Yep.
So so you're trained with this. You know that like as you're watching through the credits, you see all the names rolling, and you slowly start to see all these different departments and titles for all these positions. And so like I was generally aware of all the different kinds of departments that there were that exist in film, but like
Hmm.
even things just like I had to start working so closely with people in like the locations department and the production department in general is just like the hub of all of the answers that you ever need. From that to accounting to catering to just like especially oh my God, like set deck, the people that put together all of the sets for all of the film, absolutely amazing. So um, yeah, I was really able to just like introduce myself to so many of the wonderful people working on that film and get to hear a little bit more about their stories and learn a little bit more about their path and how they got to where they are, which is always like very special to me when connecting with different people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I'm sure it's such a big learning experience too, learning like how the different productions work again, firsthand experience at this point, seeing like
Hmm.
what every little person does in person, seeing like
Yeah.
all the work. I'm sure there's a bunch of different positions that just have people literally running back and forth, just running and like doing like work left, right, and center, correct?
100%. Oh yeah, 1000%. And like I think that's I feel like that's a lot of what production assistants are kind of there for. It's like you're always there to make sure things are flowing smoothly and like kind of keep that communication clear. And throughout my time there, I was really, really grateful to be able to work so closely with the producers of my department and the supervisor of my department, who all have such incredible stories of how they've gotten to where they are. And then also get to work with all the people that were directly on set and doing so many different processes in the visual effects department.
Hmm.
Um, and even like this is going to sound funny to anyone that's like very well versed in film because I'm still very much learning a lot about everything in it because it goes on forever. But even something like the fact of there being a main unit and a second unit. So like a main unit is basically where like I guess you could say like we're all of like the main cast and and crew are, including like the director and the lead actors and all of that. And then in your second unit, you have a second unit director, and you have basically like your whole set of stunt actors that
So it's like
actually.
a B team a little bit, kind of like the second.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so
Okay.
it's kind of like they're filling in and not only recording all of the stunts alongside the actors or in place of the actors sometimes, but also they're out there getting the B-roll, whether that's like on ground in like a forest or up in the sky in like a helicopter of like water and mountains.
It's all being
Um,
done at the same time while the
yeah,
filming on the regular set's going on. That's
yeah.
crazy.
So there's like
Wow.
two huge schedules that have to work together to make sure everything's being carried out and flowing as it
Mhm.
should. Yeah, that which was a huge thing. Like I kind of knew of it, but I didn't really know about it as well until like I was physically placed in it, and I was like, oh my God, this is insane.
I mean, hearing about it now, it kind of does make sense because I feel like it does help with production and just getting stuff out faster when you have two different groups of people making the same movie. Like
Hmm.
like you guys take this half of the scenes, we'll take this half of the scenes and
Yep,
put it together at the end of it, you know?
it's so crazy. Yeah,
That's interesting.
amazing.
Wow. So you said while you were working on the production crew that you were help working out with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively a little bit.
Mm.
How was it working with celebrities and like were there any like that you've met in the past that you like really stood out to you?
So I don't think I've gotten to meet like too many like actors at least, but in passing I kind of have like weird moments where I'm like, oh my God, wait, like you're in public and you're like, hold on, and it
I
hits
know
you
you. I
weird.
saw you on a screen somewhere
Yeah.
before.
I'm like, I feel like I've seen you somewhere before. Like, I don't know where it's on TV or on a film, like something. I never got to meet Blake in person. I met her through Zoom briefly, which was like very surreal. And then I got to meet Ryan Reynolds a few times, which was really, really cool. And he's like just incredibly funny and also
Yeah.
very well spoken, smart guy who gives great advice. So they were both really, really cool to get to talk to. I'm trying to think of who else. I briefly got to listen to and chat with Mark Ruffalo, which was like a huge thing because
Mhm.
he's someone that I'd wanted to meet since I was probably like 12 or 13. Um, plays the Hulk also, so that's a huge thing.
Literally, like dream come true at that point. Like, oh my
Yeah,
God, it's him.
I was like, this is so weird. And then like also when you're meeting people during like the pandemic too, everyone's wearing a mask, so it's kind of like I can see this much of your face. And then when I heard his voice, I was like, oh, this is like real. This is so it's I don't know
That's
why
what
it
I
hits
mean.
weird. I'm like, I know you're a person, but it's just it's hitting me weird. But so that was really cool. And he's like very insightful as a person and does just so much environmental related activism, which is incredible. So he's like a really great person. And the other person coming to the top of my mind right now is Avin Jogia. Um, he starred in like the first thing I think of that he starred in was Nickelodeon's Victorious.
I
Um,
remember that show a little bit. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he played Beck.
Hmm.
And so I got to meet him through working on a podcast and doing like assistant production management for that. And like I got to meet him and his brother who together have a band as well and they were also there to chat about his new book. And like they were so sweet, so like super cool, also very insightful people, super welcoming. It's like all around just such a good experience. I feel like I haven't entirely had like a bad experience meeting anyone that works on screen before.
That's really good considering a lot of the horror stories I've heard in the past about people meeting certain celebrities and like saying, I'm not gonna say any names, so I don't want to ruin your career, but yeah,
Yeah.
people have met other celebrities in the past from what I've heard,
Yeah.
and yeah, they don't have the best time in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. What with you? Are there any other celebrities that you would like to meet in the future, if any?
Oh my God, yes. Like, does it just have to be actors or could it be like anyone?
Anyone, like your top, let's say top three, if
Okay,
you could if
top
you could pick out
three.
top three, yeah.
I want to for sure in the top three put Mindy Kaling in there because like
Hmm.
I'm obsessed with everything she does.
She's
She's
amazing. She's so
she's
good.
hilarious and and she's like oh God, her ability to convey stories and storytelling all together. Like she wrote and I believe directed Never Have I Ever on Netflix,
Hmm.
which is like they just released the second season of that
Yeah,
show, and
I'm literally finishing a show so I can start that show
oh
next. We're like rushing
No,
through the
it's so
episode, like,
good.
hey, once this is done, we gotta get on this season because I've missed this show for so long.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I had to watch the whole first season and then I started the second one. And
Yeah,
like the episodes are all like I feel like they're bite sized. Like it's enough. It's like 25 to 30 minutes.
yeah, the
Um,
short ones.
yeah, so like it's not too bad to get through, but I'm obsessed with that show. And I love I just love the relatability that she has for South Asian women. As
Big
someone,
representation in that show,
yeah, there's
huge.
so much representation. There's so much like I just feel like watching it, there's so much I could relate to. So anyone right now who is like a younger member of the South Asian community, I feel, or anyone that's part of the BIPOC community watching that, I feel like at the age of like 14, 15, I can't imagine how like incredible it must feel to see someone possibly dealing with something you might also be struggling with on TV and like be able to relate to a character like that. Because growing up, I don't like trying to think about it myself. I don't think there were too many shows or characters like that that I could be like, oh, like I relate to that or I get that. But like
Mhm.
watching that now and I'm 25 and she like the lead character, Davy, is like 15, 16. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel that. I feel that pain. Like and I'm like I'm like 10 years older than her. But so yeah, Mindy Kaling would be number one on that probably because I just love everything she does. And The Office. She was hilarious as
Yeah.
Kelly Kapoor.
Hmm.
As number two, this would be a musician. I would love to meet Demi Lovato because like
Mm.
they're one of my favorite artists in general. But then also just like all the activism that they focus on. Um, so many like women's rights and just also so much activism towards or for the LGBTQ plus community. I just think it's like all incredible. Plus, I love their music. They have a podcast now.
Yeah,
And
they've
so
done
yeah,
so much. Thinking back, they've done so much up until
yeah,
now. It's crazy.
like multiple documentaries too, which I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know how that must feel to be releasing that. And it's also like such a close and personal look at someone's life. So
Hmm.
that's 100%. I have to put Demi on that list. I'm trying to think of number three. I don't know. I feel like anyone in the Marvel movies right now, I'd be so excited
Yeah.
to
I don't
meet
want to put you
them.
on the spot with anything. If you can't think of a number three right now, it's no big deal. Don't feel pressured.
I'm like, oh, I feel like I don't know. I'm trying to think. I feel like Brie Larson would be so cool to meet.
Mm.
She plays Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she'd be so cool. I've seen interviews of her before talking to like little girls or something, and there was one that where she was talking to a little girl, and she was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the little girl's like, well, I don't know, and she's like, well, you could be anything you want to be, and I was like, oh, this is so sweet. So I
Again,
just,
representation is
yes,
so important. Seeing a woman in a lead role as a superhero on her own
exactly.
movie is like it's insane.
It's
I can't
unreal. It's
imagine
so
how
cool.
like little girls feel seeing that. I'm like, oh my god, it's not just some big
Yeah,
bulky guy again.
yeah, again, another one. Again, great.
Yeah.
Like, no, but someone they can relate to. And like, even just recently, like Black Widow came out. So again, like
Mhm.
that's something that I feel like so many little girls could be like, oh my God, like, especially anyone that's like a Marvel fan that is able to relate to that character, maybe. Like, I just think that's so incredible. So yeah, I'm gonna put Brie Larson on that list. She seems
Mm.
really cool. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Ryan Reynolds was somewhere up there as well. And you got that
Oh,
checked off the list
of course,
already.
Deadpool always.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like
always.
it goes without saying.
Yeah, it must have been
Yeah.
crazy getting, I don't know if it was like an email or a call saying like, hey, we want you to come down to Vancouver to like come and work with us. You're like, oh my God, you're probably losing your
Yeah,
mind, eh?
I literally had to I got an email and I had to read the email probably like two or three times. And like after reading it, it still didn't sink in because I was just like, what is happening right now? Like it was all very quick when it did happen. And so I remember like I think I called my sister and I was just like, I think I have to move to Vancouver. Like
I
in the
gotta go.
next few
Something
weeks. I
important's
gotta
going on.
go. Yeah. She was like out grocery shopping or something. So she's like, I'm coming home now. Like, just hold on a sec. And yeah,
Don't
that was
leave
when
yet.
yeah, it processed in that moment when I was like physically talking to someone about it out loud. And then I like
Yeah.
pulled up the email and I was like, yeah, like this is what happened. So that was insane. And then obviously
Dang.
like, I think it was like leading up to, actually getting ready to leave. We had like the chance to have a really cool and informative um, Zoom call, which like myself and all of the rest of like the interns were part of.
Yeah.
And I think everyone was just excited to learn more about the position and like this opportunity. And then he popped up in it with Blake. and everyone was just like, whoa. So that was like
It
the
got
big,
real. It really
yeah,
set in at that point. You're like, oh my God,
yeah.
it's actually here.
What was my Tuesday night or Wednesday night, whenever that was, I was like, I was just casually on this Zoom call, which was very funny, but no, it was
Hmm.
amazing. He's a really cool person. Like I can't say that enough. He's hilarious.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've personally heard nothing but good things about him. How was it down there in Vancouver? Like, you want to go into more detail about like what you did without saying too much?
Yeah, I could try. I mean, I
Take
could
your time.
definitely,
I don't want to
yeah.
ruin anything. Take your time.
Figure it out. Spills everything. No. I think the biggest thing for me was having the capacity to gain some time on set, but also be able to work so closely with the producers in my department and like the production coordinator in my department, and just be able to like form relationships with these people and hear their stories from their past, and like kind of get insight to how they got to where they are now, and learn more about like just their story, their origin story, I guess. I'm talking about it like they're characters, but it's always interesting listening to someone that starts a career in film and has been in it for like 15 or 20 plus years, and ask them more about like where they've gotten to where they are now, what made them want to go there, and just kind of elaborate on that. So it
Hmm.
was really cool to get to be able to work with them in an office and learn about all those duties and kind of like the tedious processes of everything involved in visual effects, and then be able to also gain excuse me, the opportunity to work on set both for like the first unit and the second unit, and get to see how both function. A really big thing, I guess, that I could talk about that I never knew existed. I mean, I knew to an extent, like when you're watching something and there's CGI in it, you're like, okay, like that's not actually like that, or how did they make like that couch flip over or something? Sometimes it's
Yeah.
special effects, sometimes it's visual effects. So, like a big thing I learned about was the different types of green screens they use. Like sometimes they'll use a green screen, for instance, like if it's like potentially like behind a car or something. A lot of the time that can be
Hmm.
easier. You can pick up a lot more of the fine lines if it's like a dark colored object in front of that screen, versus like if you're going to use a lot of greenery or something, like a
Yeah, you have
forest
different
or
color,
something.
obviously, to key
Yeah,
out.
then
Yeah.
then you can't really totally pick that up because it's a green background, so then you'd use a
Yeah.
blue screen, which is like
Mhm.
I was like I never knew that like why that was a thing, but I learned that, which sounds so funny because it's such a basic thing, but knowing like the legit reason behind it, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Um
Hmm.
and then another big thing was the process. Like I didn't know anything about like photogrammetry or scanning, which is like yeah, it's a huge thing where
Yeah.
like basically there's like a program and an iPad, and then they use like do you know what a total station is?
No idea. I've never heard that term in my life,
It's
actually.
it's fine. I wasn't familiar with it either, but
Like, I
it's
got scared. I'm like, did I? Is this
it's
common
not
knowledge?
just
Am I
you.
stupid? Okay.
You're like, I don't know what she's on about. It's like a good example of what that is like, when you're driving on the highway and you see that if they're doing construction, there's like that little thing on a tripod on the side of the highway that's just kind of like
Yeah,
spinning.
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, so that's what a total station is. It's basically this thing that sends out multiple points as it's turning to kind of get depth perception. Um,
Okay.
and that's often connected to like a program either on an iPad or on a computer that kind of helps to build the image of what it's dropping points at into a computer.
Mm. Okay.
So that basically that's something that they could use often on set to help them not only extend a set but also scan each and every single item in it, and
Hmm.
kind of like figure that mapping out. So if something is moving, they kind of have like that groundwork of the foundation of what that scene looked like prior to anything being moved.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense.
yeah, and then like the whole process of scanning, like I'm still learning about all this, but there's like different ways that they work with this, but often they'll use like this small machine that comes in different forms and like scan props with it. So they basically like run this like almost laser, I guess, little gun thing around like a prop or something, and it builds the image of the prop in a computer. And from there, they're able to like use that for reference in post and in editing to kind of like warp it or make it move. When obviously, naturally, it probably wouldn't do that on
There's
its
a
own.
lot.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
like even sitting here for 5 minutes listening to this, I'm like, I can't imagine the amount of work that goes into production. It's insane.
it's
Just hearing
so
these two
wild.
two, two separate terms.
Yeah,
My
it's
gosh.
so crazy. And I'm doing a very like I feel like elementary job at describing it too. Like there's better ways to describe it, or like Googling it,
Maybe.
you'd learn more. But yeah, no, that's those are big things that I got to learn a lot about, and like the positions that go behind those on a visual effects team, which like no one talks about enough, I don't feel. But yeah, it was really cool.
It's really interesting. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm really happy that you got the opportunity to go down there and learn so much about like what goes
Thank
into
you.
like a legitimate, film production. I'm trying to use buzzwords to sound like I know what I'm talking about in the industry, and I'm just like, this is
Don't, because I'm very much like still new and I'm learning so much myself. So I don't think anything is like dumb or worded incorrectly. It's all good.
okay. Quick plug for everyone coming in. Hello again. Welcome to Local Slang Fest. Thank you for joining us. I am with the lovely Carmen, and we are talking about movie production. We are raising money for Rainbow Railroad. They are a local LGBTQI plus supporting organization that raise funds for people overseas that are experiencing prosecution from violence. If you're able to, please donate. The link is in our link tree on the local festival main page here. We also have a giveaway. A few of our locals are giving away different things. If you every dollar donated to the charity is one entry into the giveaway. If you want to pursue the giveaway but cannot donate for whatever reason, don't worry about it. Any interaction with the giveaway posted on our main page is an entry to the giveaway. So every like, follow Locals Festival, every share and every tag is one more entry into the giveaway. So please, if you're able to, feel free to either donate or participate in the giveaway. We really appreciate that. More information on what's being given away, again, on the main page here on the giveaway post at Locals Festival. Thank you very much. And yeah, we'll just continue. Oh, once again, if anyone has any questions or comments, please, again, feel free to say so in the chat below. We'll try to get to them before the end of the set. So I guess the next question naturally would be for anyone that's trying to get into the film industry, what tips would you give them, if any?
Oh, 100%. I feel like I'm very much like breaking into it still myself, so I can like share anything that I've learned so far. The biggest thing, and I feel like anyone's gonna say this, is always like contacts and networking. So like it's always a big thing with like knowing people, like who you know, what they do, if they potentially do anything that you're interested in, or if you've worked together. So obviously gaining experience anywhere you can is still like a huge thing. So for me, like when I was about 17, I started working with like a local online creator, and like we still chat all the time and work together, which is cool.
I
And
love
so
that.
through working with her, and she's also part of the South Asian community. Her name is, or her username is like K Ray.
Mhm.
And so through working with her, I was able to learn so much more about like roles just in a like a general production sense, which was really cool, and kind of pick up some experience doing production assistance. So I didn't feel like totally blinded when I went into this, because like I kind of had an idea of what I was going to be getting ready for.
Right.
And so doing that, like if you're able to connect with anyone, or if you know anyone that's interested in creating something, like go work with them, chat with them, like see, like learn more about what they want to do, and if you can help, and kind of just break into it, doing literally anything if you can, because that's like the best way to kind of get into it, is just like by getting your feet wet and like getting into it, learning about any position you can, because doing that will help you kind of figure out a little bit more about what you want to do and what you're interested in. So,
Mhm.
like working on like that's one of my really good friends who's in film, and she honestly encouraged me to get into film. I owe a lot of it to her. Shout outs to Yasmin.
Shout out Yasmin.
Yeah, no, I think she's in here. I hope she's in
Oh,
here still.
hello, hello.
Um,
Welcome.
but she encouraged me to get into film and TV, and she has been in it for a while, and she has had so many amazing experiences, has met so many people. She's very talented. Um, and her best advice was just like go after any position and every position, because that's the only way you can really find out what you want to do. And so I would definitely want to forward that advice and say, like, try out anything and everything that you can, because it'll help you learn more about yourself, more about the production and everything, and network while you're on, because you never know who you're talking to. You never
100%.
know what they're going to be doing later on. And if you guys click and you work together well, then there's an amazing chance that you guys will probably connect and work together again later down the road. What's
I love
another
what you said
thing?
earlier. Sorry to
Mhm.
cut you
No,
off.
no, go ahead.
I love what you said earlier about networking and connecting with people. We were just talking about that on my last 12 o'clock set with Marcus. He
Absolutely.
is doing filmmaking, and he was talking about how important it is to network and to be humble and shameless and like take the
Hmm.
help if it's there. There's no need to be cocky about it and say, I want to do this by
Yes,
myself or try to blow up by yourself. If the help's there and you can make the connections, make them because, again, like you said, you never know. The person might be looking for work in the future and being like, oh, I remember working with this person. They're really good. Let
exactly.
me hit them up again. And boom, it's more work for you, more networking, more,
100%.
getting your name out there. So it's really important to take the help and put yourself out there as much as possible.
Yeah, thank you. And that also, with that being said, like it's not easy to put yourself out there. Like that is so hard. And like for anyone I think working in any creative field, and maybe not even in a creative field, but just like putting yourself out there in a work sense can be so scary. So like it may feel hard, but that's why I think like that advice of trying to work with local creatives, and also like yeah, this whole festival, first of all, getting to
Mm-hmm.
know people that are creating locally is so important because it kind of like breaks a little bit of that barrier, it breaks down those nerves a little bit, you're able to connect more. And again, like you never know where that'll end up. You never know who's going to think of you down the line and in the future. So there's that. um, and yeah, like a big thing that I've kind of checked out to kind of like get I guess more information on like local productions and stuff is just joining groups on Facebook, and like staying connected on LinkedIn, which I feel like makes me sound old, but it's a huge thing. There's
No, it's
such a
important. It's
big,
very important.
yeah, it's a huge thing where like there's, especially on Facebook, like in all these groups, there are so many forums and like and just ways to connect with people that are so close to you and are working on so many different things. And you never know if something that they're working on in the future is going to be something that resonates with you, which is like a huge thing as well for a lot of people, including myself, because working on something that resonates with you and that you can understand and enjoy is so important. And it also pushes people a lot more. So I think that's a
Mm.
great way to kind of get more into that and find more of those opportunities.
I agree 100%. Like being passionate about a project, it has everyone. I've talked to multiple locals about this already so far, like
Mm-hmm.
how important it is to be passionate about something. And that's how you know you'll put your 100% in it. And everyone else is passionate about it is putting it in. And you just make amazingness at that point, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
hmm
So yeah,
I'm going to move on with my next question if you don't mind.
sure.
So this one's kind of a loaded question. You can break down
Okay.
the parts if you'd like.
All
I
right.
know there's a lot. No
I'm
need to
like,
stress. No pressure. I know there's a lot, and it can be kind of hard dealing with being in, such big production companies or like big companies in general, and feeling like you are a minority in that setting. How is it being a minority and dealing with like the film industry in your perspective, personally?
yeah, very loaded question, but it's a really good question.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it's something that like I think any kid growing up, it's something that maybe you either resonate very strongly with right off the get-go, or sometimes it's something that kind of hits you in spurts of like maybe being like, oh, I'm not like everyone else, or maybe I am different from like this person. It's something that you eventually start to realize. And I think working in an industry that is very saturated with so many people and not a lot of them being like you
hmm
can kind of definitely bring light to that, and it can feel really intimidating. Um, but I think for myself, it was kind of even more of a reason to not in a defensive way, but to be able to hold your ground and like kind of keep your head on your shoulders in a way of being like, okay, hold your morals and your values very, very close to you because you don't
hmm
want to lose that. And that also ties into just the thing of like staying very true to yourself and like staying very connected with yourself and your goals and what you want to pursue. So a big thing with that was kind of like almost like just checking in with yourself regularly, because I think as you're working with so many people that have an amazing resume, they may not be able to relate to you or certain struggles that you have had, which is totally fine. But it's really important to kind of, as you're, I guess, trying to like work with others and please them, at the same time be checking in with yourself and making sure that you're still doing what you want to be doing, and you're
hmm
still connecting with yourself and like and making sure you're not totally changing everything about you, which can be really, really hard because
It's
a lot of
very
the time,
difficult.
yeah, and you want to like, there's a whole thing of wanting to fit in and like just feel closer to, I guess, like your workmates and whoever else through that to be able to relate. But I think it's really important still to make sure that you're sticking with what you know and like who you are as a person and kind of tying that to what you want to be doing.
It's very easy to lose
Than
yourself from
anything
what I
else.
know in certain industries. It's you gotta you be able to like you said, stay true to yourself and make sure that
Hmm.
you're checking in with yourself. Don't
Exactly.
try to hit everyone's expectations all at once. I'm sure that's a lot you have to deal with too, is hitting certain expectations,
Of
even
course.
dealing with other people's egos or them seeing like, oh, someone like you in this industry and like, their
Hmm.
attitude towards you, worrying about that. It's just so much more pressure, right?
Of course. Yeah, 100%. And like it's a again, like you said, even just like the phrase like, oh, someone like you in the industry, it is such a big thing because that is something that people will say to other people. And it's like, oh, like not something that's happened to me personally, but it is something that happens frequently to a lot of different people of color. And it's like you should feel kind of lucky for whatever you can get because you're not like everyone else. And then that's kind of a moment where it's like, no, like you need to like you're checking yourself and at least you can say you're true to yourself at the end of the day because
Mhm.
like a lot of people will gain a lot of an ego and maybe rightfully so through their work, but I never think that's a reason to shoot someone else down or take opportunities from someone else or anything like that. No.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did think of something else and I'm like, hopefully it'll come back to me. That's why I
All
paused. I
right,
was
well,
like,
we'll give you some time. In the meantime, we'll move on to my last question of the day. Again, if anyone has any questions or comments, please feel free to say so in the chat down below. Plans for the future, anything that you work on, might want to work on in the future, aspirations. Again, don't burn any bridges. Don't reveal more than you should right now.
it's like,
But
oh no, no, I'm kidding. Yeah.
the floor is
Um,
yours to talk about the future.
I think first and foremost, like I'm interested in so many different things. So as much as I'm interested in what I'm working on now, I'm so interested in learning more about again, like so many other roles and so many other departments because the list goes on and on.
Hmm.
So I'm looking forward to working more in visual effects, working more in marketing, and kind of tying those skills together later on and hopefully becoming a creative producer. Because I think it'd be cool to have a lot of different hats and be able to use that and work with other people and kind of create a team of people that you know you trust and work well together with.
Hmm.
And yeah, absolutely. Like I'd love to produce something in the future. I think that'd be so cool. And again, my good friend that I mentioned earlier is a director, and so that she's someone very much that I would love to work with in the future. And like we talk about that all the time, so I definitely want to work with her on something that she wants to direct, and maybe even something that she writes.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
it goes back to what you said earlier about having those connections and networking. And,
Hmm.
now you have this friend that directs that she wants to, he or she or they wants to work on something in the future. They
Hmm.
can hit you up knowing that you are good for it. They know you personally and they know that you're good for
Absolutely.
your work. 100%.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. All right.
That's so
So,
good.
yeah, it's okay. Take your time. In the meantime, I'll just do one more quick plug.
Sure.
So once again, we are raising money for Rainbow Railroad, a local Toronto-based organization supporting people of the LGBTQI plus community overseas, escape prosecution. If you're able to, please, please, please donate to their charity. We have a giveaway associated with the charity. Every dollar donated to the charity is one entry into our giveaway. If you want to participate in the giveaway but cannot, feel free to interact with the giveaway post on our main page here at Locals Festival, where you will also find a link for the Rainbow Railroad charity fundraiser. Every like, every comment, every tag, every share, and a follow to the Locals Festival page is an entry into the giveaway. Just please interact with the giveaway post found on the main page again here at Locals Festival. And for more information on what locals will be giving away, check out the post there. And yeah, those are all my questions. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about Untitled Nails and what you'll be giving away.
Yeah, for sure. I'd absolutely love to. So I created Untitled Nails about a year ago, about a year and a half ago, actually, but I just kind of like redid it and came back this year in June. And
Mhm.
so it's basically this press on nails company that I created because I love doing nail art and I love doing my nails and I love doing my friends' nails. And then COVID hit. So that contact was kind of broken.
The big C
Um,
word.
yeah, it's the word no one wants to say. We don't want to think
Yeah.
about it. It's fine. But so basically, I kind of created this as a way to continue doing that and having that be contactless, so it's safe for everyone. So I basically design press-on nails that I think are cool, and I love working with people on ideas that they might have to create press-on nails that they would like. So basically, for the giveaway for Untitled Nails, I created a set, and I have it in front of me of
Oh, okay, good.
flame nails. They're inspired by Flame Fest, and there's about 24 press-on nails in here. So
Ooh,
they fit
amazing.
everyone, and they come with like a little card, and they have your little ooh, that ring light's killing me. They have all your application tools in the back. But yeah, so it's basically something that I love doing on the side when I'm not working with a team of other people. It's kind of like one of the things that I go to kill time. It's a hobby. I absolutely love doing it. And yeah, it's super inclusive. I feel like one of the biggest things, and I talked to a friend about this, is sometimes like if you go to a salon and you want to work and you want to get something done, because I like just doing like really absurd colors often that like sometimes people might not think look good together. The
Yeah.
last thing you want is like going in, which for some people, if you have like anxiety, that could be a little nerve-wracking and you don't want to go in and
Yeah,
have
it's gonna
someone
do.
judge you. Yeah. And so I kind of created this as like an inclusive place where you can get whatever you want and like there's no judgment whatsoever. And I'll try to the best of my abilities to make it happen.
I never knew there was so much like anxiety with like trying to get something custom done at a nail tech salon or anything. I guess it
Yeah.
would kind of be the same thing with like me getting a haircut. And like in my head, I'm
Yeah.
like, I want this, and then I sit down in the chair, I'm like, just do the regular thing, it's
Just, yeah,
fine.
no, we'll stick with what I know. We'll
Inside, I'm
stick with
like
what I
crying,
do.
like, oh my God, O'Neal, say
Why didn't
something.
I do this? Oh, like you feel like you cheat yourself a little bit, and it's like no, but it is weird. It's a weird thing, and it's tough. So I wanted to create that to kind of like combat that in a way, so someone feels safe and like, okay, I can try absolutely whatever, and if you don't like it, the beauty of it is that you can just take it off, and it's
So
not
press on,
permanent.
take it
Yeah,
right off.
there you go.
Well, really
Yeah,
appreciate you giving everyone a space to kind of express themselves and,
thank you.
get funky with their nails a little bit funky. I sound like I'm 50 years old. Gosh. Oh my gosh.
No, that'll be my new
But
slogan. Get funky with your nails.
funky. Put a little quote for O'Neal and then my
Yep.
age.
I'm gonna change my bio right after this.
Appreciate that. So if no one has any other questions, I will let you go. Once again, thank you so much, Carmen, for hopping on and speaking with us. Really appreciate that.
Thank you
Um,
so much, and thank you guys for having me. It's been great.
Yeah, of course. We love to, give shout outs to local talents and, see what they got going on in their lives.
It's
It's a
amazing.
form of, we see it as a form of education a little bit too, to
Hmm.
have people kind of see like what little bits and pieces. They're making fun of me in the comment section. I can see it.
Thank you,
See
Yasmin,
little
and yes, Erica.
into people's passions in their
Oh my
lives and
God.
stuff. So proud of you. Thank you so
Oh,
much. Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate
thank
that again.
you.
So at 4:30, we have a fireside chat, just like yesterday, with our team member Chi Chi. She's going to be speaking to me. I'm pretty sure. We're going to be talking, answering some spicy questions, and just having a quick casual discussion for a little bit. So make sure to come back at 4:30 for that. And yeah, once again, thank you so much, Carmen.
Thank
We'll talk to you
you.
soon.
Yeah, it's been great.
All right, see you.
See ya.